shed.
Hi, welcome to Down the Shed. Hoping you're liking those new titles. So in this video we're going to make this MK132 Velleman cable polarity checker. So let's crack on and get it done. ZD3 is I'll tell you in a minute. It's a diode, I can tell you that much. So the little black band on the end of the glass of the diode there, with the little white band on your board, get the polarity correct. So that goes in there like so. ZD3 is a 3V0 and it's of the Zener type. So it's a Zener diode 3V0. So I'll blue tack that down and solder it in. Right, so we'll just, both those pads are one connection. So just be careful. You only want to put a little bit on and hold that in place without interfering with the other pad. So that's basically that on. So what we need to do now, pause. Now this is a Velleman kit and it does provide two sets of crocodile clips on leads, but it does tell you in the instructions to actually snip them in half, but they've already done all that for you. So what you need to do is, I think you go down, get up here. So we'll go down. So on the black side we go down the hole, come back up through the one next to it, like so, and then basically that's going to get soldered in next to the diode on that double pad I mentioned. So that goes up into there like that. We'll just stick this in here and this side in here, and we'll zoom in a wee bit. So we'll just tin all that together now. So we'll get this side coming up. Now back down. Like so. So again, just feed that back into the red slot. I had to use a flipping microscope to identify all these diodes, and I still bloody ended up knocking one of them on the floor and mixing the other two up. So I've got to go through a microscope again now and just recheck them. So we'll just tin that on. There we go, that's fine. And snip. So I can't remember what this bit is for, but it will tell us in instructions, but we do have croc clips on each end. So that's the first part on one strip, and it does, on the resistors, it will tell you all their sizes and colours. Right, so on with the next bit. Okay, so here we have the main board. R1 I've already inserted, which is brown, black, orange, gold. So that is 10k resistor. So R1, R2, R3, R4 are all 10k. Okay, so that's our 4 resistors soldered on. Okay, so R5, 6, 7 and 8 are 1Ks, brown, black, red, gold. So R5 is here, 6, 7, 8 all in line below it. So that's the next 4 resistors, and they're obviously controlling the LEDs here, all one case. So next we need to do 9, 10 and 11. So 9 and 10 are black, black, yellow, 100k, and R11 is a 0 ohm or black. So I'll do those. I'll point them out on the board. Right, so we've got our first bunch of resistors on already. So we've gone with R9 here, R10 here. They're both 100k's, brown, black, yellow, gold. And R11, which is just black. I think there might be gold on there. No, it's just black. So one black band, 0 ohms. So that's all the resistors in place. So next we'll put ZD1, ZD2 and D1 in. So 2 Zetas and a standard kind of diode. It's about 85, if that means anything. And the other 2 are both 2V4s. ZD1 and ZD2. So that's the 3 diodes there. So we'll get those done. Okay, with help from my friend the digital microscope here, I now know that this is the BAT85, which is D1. So the big white fat end of the silk screen goes with the black band on the diode. It's important you get the polarity right. So we'll pop that in. I'll just try and see if I get a bit of a zoom on that. Oh, there we go, too far. So if I bend, so that's D1. So that only leaves both of these 2 guys being 2V4s, because we've already done the last one, which goes on that other piece of test board. So again, get the black painted end in line with the white fat border on the board. Same with this one. This one goes the opposite way. So that'll be all our diodes in place. So that's all the resistors and the 2 diodes soldered on. And they're on the board. Right, as you can see just here, there's an indent in the end of the IC holder. So that matches with the little goalpost, that little mark, I call it the goalpost. So we just want to drop this in here. And that went in quite nicely, so we'll blue tack that down. We'll get that soldered in. Now I'd suggest just going from corner to corner at the moment, just spreading around the heat. So, plus it helps anchor it into place. And then just do opposite sides. Right, next we want to attach the push button, so that's all the way up here. So it's going to must be that one. So that's the switch in place. There we go. So that's the switch in. Okay, so we're going to put the original Velleman ones on. Wasn't quite enough space between them to go with the 5mm. So remember, there's also a flat edge on the LEDs, which also denotes the negative side, which is the white boarded side. So that's the 4 LEDs on board. Right, there are 2 transistors, T1, T2, T1 is a 557 and T2 is a BC547. So they're in that little tripod format I like. Remember, get the shape matching the transistor. You don't want to put it in backwards. So I'll sit in there like that. Get the other one. And bend its little leg out. Again, just slide them down into place, like so. Sometimes they just hold themselves in place, but I think we'll just put a little bit of blue tack on. So that's what we've got on the board so far. Not a lot more to do, literally just a couple of cables and capacitor, 2 screws for the battery, and the chip or IC itself, which is let's have a look on the other side, is an LM324N, for those of you that need to know. So I'll do that in a moment. Right, so we've got a 47 UF cap here, long leg plus, short leg minus, which is clearly marked on the cap itself, so you shouldn't be able to get that one wrong. That's pretty much the last component apart from placing the IC. So I've placed the IC in. Just remember to get the notch the same way as the goalpost and the notch on the holder. Everything matches up. Now we have to do the cable in. So like before, we fed the black cable through the board. I've had to cut the lead back a bit because there was some over solder on the end. I think there's still a bit too much on there. Can't get it through the hole. So that's the black lead in place. There we go, so we just need to do the same for the positive. Right, so that's the board with both test leads on. Right, so just to end this video off, there's 3 holes for screws, and there's only 2 screw holes, so you only need 2 to locate it. The 2 leads come through, as you can see there, and solder in. Focus, solder in there. Just screw the back on. I did cut them short so there wasn't loads of cable everywhere. And that's our basic project. The other part that you can see in the picture does come with a big bit of heat shrink, so I've shrunk that on. So I guess that's for, I don't know, we'll have to try and find out. But otherwise, that is our, you just click it on and then it goes off automatically, but as you saw, I just took the battery out. So yeah, that's our Velleman MK132 cable polarity checker. As always, the Velleman is a pleasing little build. They're good boards, they're good components, they're clearly instructed in their own packaging. So as you can see, yeah, gives you all the focus, gives you all the information. So as you can see, tells you which transistor is which. So you can always buy, there's some information. So there's your information on how it wires into circuits. Buy these with confidence. Good little kits to put together. I think I've only ever had one not work. Could have been my fault, you never know. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.